bringing in our folks over on IG. Hi, I'm Dr. Taz, Dr. Teresa A. Smith. I am your co-host for Real Talk with Taz and OnJerya. And OnJerya is my beautiful sister who keeps me under control. And so we want to welcome you to our show tonight. OnJerya, you're not going to greet the people?
Hi, everyone. I didn't know you were talking. So, you had already said before that you may have to step away. And I said, no, you don't want to leave me by myself with the people.
And I told her that I'm sure if I have to step away, she will be a good co-host and just keep it going. It seems like I've got something in my throat that wants to impact my voice. I do not know why, but it does. But needless to say, I hope everybody's having a good week. This is our the second or third Tuesday in the month. I don't even know.
Just a second.
It's just a second. Oh my God.
It's just a second. I know we're in the middle of the month already.
All right. It goes so quickly. I told someone yesterday, I was in a consult and I told them, I said, I know it's still January, but it's going to be MLK soon holiday. And I said, it's already February because we were talking academic calendar. And I was like, kids are going to be taking exams soon. So things move very quickly in education. So, OnJerya, what's weighing on you tonight that you want to talk about?
Your mother.
Is
Your
that a
mother.
euphemism?
Huh?
Is that a euphemism?
No, I'm serious. Your mother.
Okay.
And she's going to watch this. And I just want to say, I love you, mommy. But your mother. So, I was calling your mother just to check on her to see how she was doing, because it's been a minute since I had a little conversation with her. And she let me know that, hey, I received the book in the mail. I was like, okay, mama. I said, have you had a chance to read it yet? She was like, yeah. I opened, the book came and I've just been reading it nonstop. I'm halfway through the book. I said, okay, well, tell me what you think about it. She said, oh, it's so good. I couldn't put it down. But I said, Lord, I need to put it down so I can do my word search puzzle. And I said, oh okay. And so what did you think about the questions that were in the book? And she said, the question. I said, yeah, mama, the questions. I said, in the book, there are, I will call them mini lessons. And then after each lesson, there's a set of questions that you answer. It's like a reflection. It's just I don't know what you're talking about. So I said, okay, mama, cool. So here it is. I done grabbed the book.
I'm glad you did.
I grabbed the book because it's right here beside me. And I said, I'm just going to flip to a page. And I was like, okay, so here we are, little chapter 4. I said, the tip that told the truth. And I said, I'm like, you see, mama, I'm giving her the rundown on it. I said, you see, it's Teresa's take and then it's my take. And then I said, you have some moments, you have some takeaways. And then at the end, you have some reflection prompts. She said, reflection prompts. I said, yes. I said, so for this one, as an example, it says, would I recognize a blessing if it came with boundaries? Mm-hmm. And then it has 3 little bullet points that are questions, such as, have you mishandled opportunities out of fear or ego? What instructions have you ignored that cost you more than money? Can people trust you with the overflow or with your own shares? So I'm going through and I'm like, mama, if you look, so she just flipping, because I hear her. All I hear is, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's all I'm hearing. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said, mama, she said, yes, OnJerya. I said, I just want to let you know that you just proved the point that they say about Black people. And yes, I did say Black people. She said, what is that? I said, if you ever don't want them to know what's going on, just put it in a book. She was like, that's so insulting. I said, no, it's not. Because what were you reading? It was clear as day. Well, I'm going to have to go back and do that. I said, so is it that you skipped over it because it's requiring you to do some critical thinking? It's requiring you to actually do some deep soul searching? Is that why you skipped over it? And she's like, no, I was just so caught up in, the lessons and the takeaways that I just missed it. So I guess I say all that to say, why is it so hard to do the inner work and work on self? Why is it so hard?
Well, before you throw that out to the audience, I want to welcome the folks over on IG. Red has joined us. How you doing, Red? She says, hey, hey. Hey, hey. So I want to just welcome her. So were you posing that question to me?
Yes, because it's your mother.
What was that question again?
The question is, why is it that people don't they need the self-help, right? You have the tools to do the work, to work on self. Why is it that we are refusing to do what is required to work on self?
Well, first of all, this is you got several things going on here. Okay. Now, let me address mother first, and then I'll address this question. Mother, of course, was excited to see the collaboration of her daughters. So mama would have just been reading, because the commentary, well, the setup, and then my take and OnJerya's take, they're based on different shows that we've done over the last couple of years. So if you haven't, you don't have to have watched the shows to be able to understand what's happening. We tried to set it up so that you had that context to then see why we gave our different takes in the other little parts of the book. So mama is not really on social media. So even though she sometimes watches our show on YouTube, she's really not on social media. So for her, it would have been very interesting to read all of that. So all that to say, it's a good read. And she's the second person that has said that when I spoke with them, they were halfway through the book. The other person, when I spoke back to them, they were done. So that lets you know it's a good read, and it's a fast read. So for mother, she would have been more focused on the commentary, because it's interesting commentary and it'll make you think. Now, as it comes to this larger question that you pose, why do we refuse to do what's required to work on self? Well, first of all, I think it requires us to be vulnerable with self. And if we talk about women in particular, we, and we talk about Black women, we are taught to be strong. So we're not always in touch with that vulnerable side. And now what's the phrasing we call it now? My soft side.
Yeah, South Girl era.
Yeah, you see, I'm not often in touch with my soft girl era, because I got to make sure that I'm bringing home the bacon and bringing home whatever that old commercial is, that I'm frying it up in a pan. I have to make sure that I do that, whether I am single or not. If I'm a mother, then I've got to take care of my kids. So I've got so many things that are happening that my attention is like a pie. It's just sliced up. So very little, and if I think about the pie analogy, sometimes there's not necessarily like a regular old pie, but like if you see something, it could be a cake. And because I'm thinking about that little hole in the center. So let's let it be a bundt cake. We can all understand that. There's a hole in the center of a bundt cake or a tube cake. Well, you slice up the cake around there. Well, that's a piece of you. So we have all these pieces that we have to manage. And therefore, when it comes to looking at me, it's like that little hole. Well, it's a hole, hole. Think about my analogy. It's a hole. So that means stuff is just flowing through. There's nothing, there's no stopper there for me to say, okay, stop. Let's think about what's happening. And guys, excuse my voice. Once I get through talking, I'm gonna go mute. Um, but there's nothing to stop. There's no stopper. So everything flows through this hole. And therefore, what I'm saying is it's hard for me to sit in a space where I have the time, literal time, and then mental time, and emotional time, and heart time, because time is not something we can touch. So when I'm saying time for some of those things, what I'm saying is I'm not in a headspace to be able to do that. So when you talk about why are we refusing to do what is required to work on stuff, sometimes it's not that we're refusing it. As Black women, sometimes we're up against our programming and then the reality of our world and our lives. So we're just trying to make it shake every day. That's what we're doing.
And hey, Addie, I completely agree with what you're saying. Then I also will add to it. That's the reason why we have to take that time out for ourselves. Again, like we've been saying and will continue to say, it's great to keep pouring into other people, but sometimes if no one's pouring into you, you have to be able to pour into yourself. You have to always make sure that you're being the best version, not only for others, but for yourself as well, because you're all that you have. You know what I'm saying? So just using her as an example, and no, I'm not ganging up on my mother. So when she see this and talk to me offline, you guys hear me now. I'm not ganging up on Miss Gloria. Okay, Miss Gloria. I'm not ganging up on her, but
You
I'm
better
just
not.
saying I'm really not. But it's just so many people that are like that, right? Where they're just reading something or doing something just to say I've completed the task. So to me, that was how I took it. I took it as yes, all of that. Like she's excited, she's happy. You know, it's a finished product. We've been talking about it. Now it's here, and I'm just reading it, not really fully understanding, I guess, what it was. And I think sometimes we get into situations thinking one thing, like we go into thinking like, okay, it's going to be this. And then once we're in there, it turns out to be, well, it's not quite exactly what I thought it was going to be. And that's okay. But you also have to be willing to make the shift and want to make the shift. Because sometimes you can be willing to make that shift, but you just don't want to make that shift because we are afraid of what the outcome is going to be as a result of the shift that we're making.
And you're right about that. And it could be it could go both ways. Sometimes we want to make the shift, but we desire to do it,
Right.
but we don't know how to do it, or we're afraid of what that shift's going to bring. And we can flip it. It can be the exact opposite of that, but we're still stuck in that place. And the thing is, I think it's, and I love to talk about it. That Cyrus Webb brings it up every time he's interviewing me. Transformation. I think it's
Yeah.
that first chapter. Change is challenging, and I can't get away from it because it is challenging. It's challenging for me, just like it's challenging for other people. When I had to step away for 4 months in 2025, it was not easy,
Right.
But I knew that I needed the time to work on me. And mine was a combination of a lot of things because my whole life has been spent doing 50 things at the same time.
Yep.
Literally, I'm not really exaggerating. 50 things at the same time and being of help to hundreds of people at the same time, too. And it's like, and there's nothing wrong with that because I grew up in a home. My mother, Miss Glory told you have to help your fellow man. No, nobody can't say it like me, can they? Miss Glory. And one way that she instilled that in us, but I just thought about the way I said it. take what I say, take care of help your fellow man.
Help your fellow man.
My mother loves the song by Annie Lennox and Al Green. Think of your fellow man, lend them a helping hand, put a little love in your heart, and the world would be a better place. So when I say that she instilled that in me, when I was growing up and she was having our chapter banquets and even district banquets, and she was in charge of these different things, she always wanted that song sang. So we would perform this song, the people in the audience would hear. But that's what I was hearing, because remember, we are being indoctrinated all the time. So that's all I knew. Plus, growing up in the church, I'm General Baptist, you got to do all this stuff, and you turn the other cheek, and I used to say to Mama, because I was a very precocious girl, I used to say to her, well, Mama, well, first of all, I used to say to her, because the golden rules, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And I used to say to her, well, they must want me to do bad to them because they're doing bad to me. And she'd tell me, no, baby. Okay, that's the first thing. Then I used to tell her I would give people 3 strikes and they were out. And I'm pretty sure I was saying this before we had computers, because I would say I would wipe them out the computer bank. I'd wipe them out of my mind, which meant they didn't exist anymore. And I still do that. But it's harder to do it, even though I know it must be done. Because think of your fellow man, lend them a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. And that is a trap. Why is that a trap, TAS? It's a trap because unless you have balance, it's like the scales of the scales, what is it? I'm thinking law and order, but the scales of justice.
Yeah.
If you can't balance it, typically you're going to give more than what you receive. And it's not that I want to receive so much, but let me at least have some balance here, baby. Because when I'm always giving and you always taking, and you think that I don't understand that you constantly taking. And there's a person I used to work with 30, 40 years ago used to say, you playing on my intelligence. And because I used to hear her say that. So again, the things that you hear people say that you really don't understand until much later. I got what Helen Snipes Turner was talking about. Like, you're playing on my intelligence. You're not playing on my intelligence, baby. It's just think of your fellow man, lend them a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. But I love Al Green. I think I've seen him about 3 or 4 times. And I love Al Green. At some point, I have to sing one of them gospel songs of his. Pass me not, Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. I once was lost, but now I'm found. At some point, you got to be found, honey. And what that means is finding yourself, OnJerya. And when you get to that place, that hole that's in that cake, that tube pan, it doesn't matter that there's a hole there, because now I'm able to catch stuff as it's coming through that hole. So even though I've done all these slices, I'm going to give you a sliver of a slice now. You're not going to get a nice slice. It takes me glory to talk about that slice of cake. I think she talked about it in one of our conversations. Her cousin, and I'm just rubbing my hand, her cousin has given McGlory a slice of cake. It was so thin. And I remember it very well. I think Miss Glory stuck her fingernails in me and drug me out to church. And because she was good at doing this. She probably do it now. She used to grab you by her wrist and she'd just be sticking them nails down you. But anyway, she got a slice of cake from her cousin. The cake was so thin that you could see through it. And I remember it like yesterday that she was doing her hand like that. And then when we got outside, she just threw it away. And it was a piece of cake. So that woman that cut that piece of cake should have been working with Gordon Ramsay. Because how you cut a slice of cake that thin? But it was that thin. So what I'm saying with that is, folks, what we're going to have to do as we try to get control of our life, and we got that cake, that tube cake, the bucket cake, it's going like that. we're going to start sealing it up. And the way we're going to seal it up is we're going to get people them little thin slices of us. Like my cousin gave Mama that little thin slice of cake. And when you give them that little thin slice of cake, you ain't giving them much. Now you still putting a little love in your heart, but you ain't giving them much. So therefore, you are still filled up like my thing here. It's still you still got something in it versus this being empty. Because you see, a lot of time also the reason why we can't do anything, we just don't have the energy. It just ain't there, baby. After I done gone to work, done this, done that, I just don't have it to give. I just don't have it to give to me. But I'll muster up a little bit of energy to help somebody else. Because if I can help someone along the way, my living won't be in vain. And I'm not trying to be funny. Don't get me wrong with that. But Paul had an experience, Saul had an experience on the Damascus Road. When we are born again, we are a new creature in Christ. So what I'm saying is I'm still going to be a giving person, but I can't give myself away and have nothing left, because then I have nothing for me, which means that I have nothing for Christ. If Christ is the center of my life, whatever is the center of your life, you don't have nothing for that, which means you don't have anything to then stand up. So when you talk about, why is it hard? We running on empty. I think that's in transformation too. Oh, Jesus, I got to get out transformation. Now he whipping me up. Running on empty. I want to say, run me over. They be running you over because if you be running on empty. I just thought about, that was eye open. That was an aha moment. That's how they run you over because you running on empty. Let's think about it. If I want running on empty to take care of me, you can't run me over. But when I'm flat on the ground, like those cartoons, I'm flat, which means there's nothing to me now. You can run me over. Running on empty. There's no gas in my tank. So I'm just sitting there hoping somebody to come by and put a little gas in. Maybe I'll be able to get to the gas station. Oh, ain't that pitiful.
So you out there in the desert?
Don't let me be in the desert, OnJerya, because I'm not going to make it. You know how high it is in the desert. Let me be out there on 74 Independence. Don't put me in the desert. God, you don't want me to survive, do you?
No, and that's basically what it boils down to, is because I think about when we went to Vegas. The first time for me being in Vegas, and the many times for you. But we took the tour from Vegas to Los Angeles. And that trip, it was amazing. It was a day tour. And all you saw was desert, just dirt, land. And I don't know how many miles that you would go until you would see a gas station. So it reminds me of that, because yes, we are giving ourselves to other people. We are pouring into other people. We are tired. So tired.
Preach, black gal.
But guess what? You got to show up. You got to show up. We stay up all night and be asleep all day, literally and figuratively. And I know you're like, but what you mean though? I be up all night when I'm supposed to be asleep, worrying about stuff that don't concern me, when I need to be taking care of me.
Yes, you do.
And then during the day when I'm supposed to be working, I'm asleep, eyes wide open, sleep at work, barely hanging on, pushing through. But what? I got to do what I got to do to make sure that those people are taken care of. And then, as you stated, when you get off, then you're part of all these different organizations. Then you're part of all these other things that are going on in your life, that you have with family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That you don't have time for self, which is why I stated you must become selfish with yourself. You must make time for yourself. It's okay. They will get over it. And if they don't, Who cares? Because you are the most important thing to yourself. I understand this. Well, it's my family. You are the most important thing. There's God, and then there's you, and then everybody else that falls down up under that umbrella. Because if you are not whole, if you are not 100, if you are not doing what you need to do to be in your right mind, you're not going to have the ability to take care of anyone else. So therefore, you must start doing the work so that you can be all you can be, as they say in the army, right? It's the army, right? One of them
Yeah,
branches,
it's Army.
be all that you can be. That's how you need to be. And the only way you're going to do that is by establishing those boundaries that it's hard, it's scary, because what are boundaries? I've never done that. Okay, well, this is 2026. It's time to start doing that. It's time to say no. It's okay to say, not right now. I get back with you later. You don't have to make a decision now just because somebody asked you to do something. You can take the time to walk away and think about it. It's okay. Because what happens is you done jumped the gun because you're running on fumes. And now you done walked away and you done thought about it. And because you done thought about it, now you want to be the victim. How you gonna play the victim role for something that you agreed to do?
Mm, mm,
You
mm.
had the opportunity to say no, but yet you chose because you felt like, oh, if I don't answer right now, it's gonna be a problem. No, it's not. Because they're waiting on your response. And whenever you are ready to respond back to them, that is when you will do it. Whether it's an hour from now, 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now, whenever you are in your right mind to make an informed decision, that is when you can respond back to whatever the circumstances is. But we're so quick to just jump because we don't want someone to feel like we don't care. We're so quick to step up and rush things because I don't want someone to feel that I don't support them. I don't care about them. Who cares? Are you more concerned about what somebody else thinks of you? Or are you more concerned about what's going to happen to you as a result of you jumping the gun on something that you didn't take time to think through?
Well, OnJerya, there's several things I want to say. You know, because as you were speaking, I was thinking about a conversation I had with someone yesterday. I think I shared it with you yesterday. And, this is not just the conversation that we're having is not just about me as the individual. It's me as how I interact with people in my personal life, people in the business arena. So it's a very broad topic. I just want to say hi, Dale, over on Facebook. He's watching us. And I want to say to Sunshine, Shade 48, thank you for joining us on IG. And Tiki Nickton, Nickton, I'm probably mispronouncing, I apologize. And Lisa Fraser. And I am a Sundaris. I'm mispronounced, but thank you guys for joining us over on IG also. And I added, thank you for being with us. Um, I said to a person yesterday, and it was a male, and I said to him, because I don't really know him, I said, basically, can I just talk plain? Because I had a few minutes and I had to talk quickly, so therefore I was talking like this. And I said to them many different things, but one of the things that I said to him that ties right back into this was, when your circumstances changed, you should have made an informed decision that would have been in their best interest, which would have required them to reschedule something. Now, it's hard to do that because I'm saying in their best interest because they were out of pocket. And by them being out of pocket, it was very hard for them to wrap their mind around what was going on. But they were still trying to soldier through. And I said to them, I have been you. I said, I don't want you to let this happen to you again. Because what happens is you get in a panic, because you don't want to let somebody else down, but you're trying to figure out what's going on because you just done got all discombobulated. And I said to them, I said, if this happens again, I said, you need to reschedule. Once you realize that it was going to be a conflict, reschedule. And I said to him very clearly, if they don't accept it, then you don't need to be involved with them. So let me sit a little cleaner here, because I was rolling when I was talking to him. Basically, what I'm saying is, if I have to take a detour and you got a problem with it, goodbye. Because you see, if you were in my corner, you would be able to work with me because I'm saying I got to take a detour. But when you keep on to hold me to something that I'm saying, I cannot deliver that right now. But you said, that's what I said. I can't deliver that right now. But you want to hold me to that? I need to cut ties with you. And what I was saying to him, you learn that sooner versus later. Because some people, they're only there for a season. And sometimes that season is just that long. We got, I don't know why we keep holding on to folks. Let them go. God knows. They went out from us, but they were not of us. But if they had been of us, surely they would have continued on with us. People are not meant to be with you always. It's a hard pill to swallow, but you got to get that in your spirit. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Christ was not with the disciples always. He came for a season, and then he was crucified, and then he rose the third day, and then he descended back into heaven. He is not physically here. So, yeah, he was walking with the men. So, his human flesh, it was going to be tough on him. But he still had to do what he came here to do. So you got to let people go. You got to free yourself so that you can move on and become the best version of yourself. And sometimes, OnJerya, I feel like we say this all the time. And I think the reason we do is because we're both moving through life. We're talking with different people. We're hearing people struggle and how challenging it is to advocate for themselves. And when you talk about that, I think about, and I go back to what you said last week, it's a slave mentality and the idea that because my ancestors could never say no. They could never change their mind. They could never renegotiate. They never negotiated. So there's no renegotiate. So when you have that imprinted on your DNA and your experiences, whatever they may be, it makes it hard to make that detour and shift. But shift you must. Because if you don't shift, unfortunately, you're the person that suffers and those closest to you. Everybody else is having a good life, baby. They going right on. They ain't thinking about you. Now, I won't say that. But I'm gonna talk about something, but I'm not gonna say it directly. I was in a class on Sunday night. And it was about social media. And people on social media for different things. So, I'm a content creator. So I'm not just on social media, I'm a content creator. So the different platforms, they look at who you're connected to and how much you engage. So the person was helping us to understand that if you're connected to people, help me somebody. Ooh, Uncle Jeff Rodon came. Oh, help me somebody. Mm, mm, mm. If you connected to people, whether in real life or on social media, and them people, and you never connect in a year, you're not connected to them, baby. Now was it Oprah years ago that said that if you haven't used something for a year, I think it was a year, you need to go ahead and discard that. Y'all listen to me now, TAS is preaching to you now. Listen to me. Makeup has an expiration date. We be using it way past the expiration date. But makeup got an expiration date. They say if you haven't used something in a year, if you haven't worn a dress or whatever it is, if you haven't used it in a year, you might want to consider letting that go. Social media, whether you're a content creator or not, if you're on social media and y'all have not engaged and it's been over a year, you're not in any type of relationship. Because when you're in a relationship with someone, there is engagement. If they are if the relationship, we're not talking on social media now. If you've not engaged with those people within a year, there's no relationship there, baby. I know it's hard. Let's just take a swig here. Y'all take a swig too. Mhm. I know it's Taco Tuesday, but it's gonna be swig tonight. Now, you're not in no relationship with them. Now, work with me now. So why are you going out your way to stay connected to them on social media or in the real world? Why are you doing that? And by that I mean responding if they happen to reach out to you. And if they don't, it don't matter still. But why are you connected to them? Because you see, you're the one again that's stuck. But I go back to that mentality. And we just don't see it that way. Well, I don't want to hurt nobody's feeling, because that's what the trainer was. They said, well, you don't want to hurt nobody's feeling. But what's happening is, I'm gonna break it back down. The social media platforms they're not punishing you, but you're not viewed in a positive light. Because you got all these people that you connected to, but you never engage with them. Now you may say, now what does that have to do with what we talk about? You had asked the question, OnJerya, are you more concerned about what, my handwriting, I didn't even write it clear, but basically, are you more concerned about, what's going on with these people versus instead of what's happening with you, right? Something like that. Well, I'm more concerned about these people. Ain't that sad? Ain't that sad? And I'm going down with the boat. I'm on the Titanic. I'm about to go down. What's that woman? I can't think of the character's name. I'm going down.
Rose.
Rose. I'm going down. But I'm more concerned about everybody else because I'm concerned about the optics. So that's what I'm getting at, guys. It's the optics now. It's the optics. And I want to appear to be a certain way. I want to look a certain way. Going down with the Titanic, though, so they really go mad because you see, I'm drowning, literally and figuratively, I'm drowning. So the optics are gonna mean nothing when I'm not here. So again, this is in business, this is in our personal lives, this is in our families. Families sometimes can't even have their family time because they got to do this, they got to do that. Okay, he wanted a family. That's the reason he had Adam. He had two of everything. They said, oh, it ain't good for man to build. So then he put Adam to sleep, and then he got that rib out of Adam, and then he made Eve. Because you see, he wanted to make a family there, you say. But you see, you can't even build your family because here you are all hooked up with this other stuff and everything. Hey, Marva, thank you for joining us over on and Cook Myra. Thank you for joining us over on IG. Again, it's like being landlocked. Now, I haven't thought about this. It's just popped in my brain. It's like we're landlocked. And by that, I mean, you can't move because of the geographical barriers. You can't do certain things. It's like we're landlocked in our mind. But we're not receiving the resources. Because some places, I think about Tina Siemens, my friend out in Texas, she was landlocked. So she wanted to work with another place for her museum, because she's a history buff, excellent history buff. But the other place was landlocked. So someone told her, build your own. If they don't invite you to their table, they couldn't because they were landlocked. then build your own table. So I think she's had a museum now for about 2 years. I think she celebrated her second year last year. So it's almost like we're landlocked in our minds and we don't see another way. Or we're afraid to say, oh, I changed my mind. Baby, it's a man and woman's prerogative to change your mind. Bobby says, my prerogative. Y'all know Bobby. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that lyrics is my prerogative. Oh, I love that song. It's my prerogative. It's my prerogative, so you do what you want to do. OnJerya, I just don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I felt like, Lord Jesus, we done had altar call yet again.
Now, you know, if you come in here with me, I'm going to do altar call. Now, you know,
I
I
mean,
just get away from him. I'm going to do altar call. I need to bring the hymnal over here. I'll try to remember to bring the hymnal over next week. And I can open up the hymnal and we can sing a tune.
Look, I use the book. I don't have a collection plate. Oh, here you go. I got an empty bottle. This one. Let me go ahead.
Let me drop that in for you. Here you go.
Go ahead. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Drop my little gasoline in for you. Is that your bottle or my bottle?
Girl, it might be our bottle. Ain't no telling.
It's looking kind of familiar. I don't think I.
You know what? This is your bottle.
You see, even your own. I'm like, this is like my bottle.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been looking at it like, where did you get that from? Because the other bottle has the hotel name on it. So I'm like,
how did you get that bottle?
On one of them trips, girl. You know how we do. Just throw it in the bag. That's what they said. Just throw it in the bag. But yeah, we done had altar call. We done had praise and worship. Now we done took up the offering. I think it's almost time for the benediction.
It is. Arrested. It scorps now. Yeah, you done took my that must have got in your bag in November. Because that's mine. But good example. I didn't even know it was gone. I didn't know I didn't have it. I did not until I'm seeing you pull it up. So that goes to show real-time example.
Yeah.
If you haven't looked at it, that's just been 2 months. If you ain't thought about it in 2 months, let it go, baby. Let it go. It's been 2 months you've had my water bottle, and I didn't even realize I didn't have it in the cabinet.
Do you want it back? Because I can bring it.
Well, maybe put it in the suitcase. I may need the next time. Put it in the suitcase.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case. You never know. You never know. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that, you pretty much have summed it up. Yeah, you summed it up. That's pretty much what it is we have to just be more mindful of how we move and stop focusing on the optics so much. Because who cares? Like, they talked about Jesus, they're going to talk about you when you're alive, and they certainly going to talk about you when you're dead and in your grave. So stop worrying about what folks say and just start worrying about loving you more so that you can do the work that is required to be the best version of you.
Well, OnJerya, you have done a wonderful job summing up tonight's discussion about getting to a space where we can love ourselves, first of all, and become the best version of ourselves. And that is so, so important. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Those on Facebook, thank you for joining us. Those on IG, thank you for joining us, and everybody for participating. We look forward to this time with you guys every week. So we'll be back next week at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll be on all the platforms, but this is our exclusive IG show. So thank you again. And you know it, my call here. This is sort of like you want to say something about that, OnJerya?
If you haven't already purchased the book on Amazon.com, please, by all means, the hard copy is available now. the Kindle copy will be available on Friday. Oh God, time is moving. On Friday, January 16th. Of course, the book is called Real Talk with TAS and OnJerya, two sisters, two perspectives on life, love, and everything in between. Did I do it right, Teresa? And
Nope.
everything in between. Let me
You
say it
getting
one more time. And everything in between. Did I get it?
in between. I think when I say that, I must be channeling my Marilyn Monroe, but really that Mae West and everything in between.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Love Bella Buds, for joining us. We will be back, guys, next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. Our new book, Real Talk with Taz and OnJerya. Two sisters, hold up for a minute, two sisters, two perspectives on life, love, and everything in between. I think because I'll change the title of the book, but two sisters, two perspectives on love, life, and everything in between is available on Amazon now. The print is available now. You can order the ebook. It will be available on Friday. So thank you guys again for being with us. And until next time, before you go trying to take care of someone else, please make sure you take care of yourself first. Bye now.
Bye.